Vitambata Nairadasi Brahma Vishwasri Jampati Yasyambhasi Shayanasya Yoganidram Vitanvata Nabhiradam Bhujadasi Brahma Vishwasri Jampati Mataji Yasyambhasi Sayanasya Yoganidram Vitanvata Nabhiridam Bhujadasi Brahma Vishwasri Jampati Yasyambhasi Sayanasya Yoganidram Vitanvata Nabhiridam Bhujadasi Brahma Vishwasri Jampati.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. From the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem. And from the lotus flower atop this stem, Brahma, the master of all engineers in the universe, becomes manifest. Purport. The first Purusha is the Karano Dakshai Vishnu. From his skin holes, innumerable universes have sprung up. In each and every universe, the Purusha enters as the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He is lying within the half of the universe, which is full with the water of his body. And from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu has sprung the stem of the lotus flower, the birthplace of Brahma, who is the father of all living beings, and the master of all the demigod engineers engaged in the perfect design and working of the universal order. Within the stem of the lotus, there are 14 divisions of planetary systems, and the earthly planets are situated in the middle. Upwards, there are other better planetary systems, and the topmost system is called Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. Downwards from the earthly planetary system, there are 7 lower planetary systems inhabited by the Asuras and similar other materialistic living beings. From Garbhodakshai Vishnu, there is expansion of the Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is the collective Paramatma of all living beings. He is called Hari, and from him, all incarnations within the universe are expanded. Therefore, the conclusion is that the Purusha avatar is manifested in 3 features. First, the Karano Dakshai, who creates aggregate material ingredients in the Mahat Tattva. Second, the Garbhodakshai, who enters in each and every universe. And third, the Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is the Paramatma of every material object, organic or inorganic. One who knows these plenary features of the personality of Godhead knows Godhead properly, and thus the knower becomes freed from the material conditions of birth, death, old age, and disease, as is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In this shloka, the subject matter of Mahavishnu is summarized. The Mahavishnu lies down in some part of the spiritual sky by his own free will. Thus he lies on the ocean of Karana, from where he glances over his material nature, and the Mahat Tattva is at once created. Thus electrified by the power of the Lord, the material nature at once creates innumerable universes, just as in due course a tree decorates itself with innumerable grown fruits. The seed of the tree is sown by the cultivator, and the tree or creeper in due course becomes manifested with so many fruits. Nothing can take place without a cause. The Karana ocean is therefore called the causal ocean. Karana means causal. We should not foolishly accept the atheistic theory of creation. The description of the atheists is given in the Bhagavad Gita. The atheist does not believe in the Creator, but he cannot give a good theory to explain the creation. Material nature has no power to create without the power of the Purusha. Just as a Prakriti or woman cannot produce a child without the connection of a Purusha or man. The Purusha impregnates and the Prakriti delivers. We should not expect milk from the fleshy bags on the neck of a goat, although they look like breastly nipples. Similarly, we should not expect any creative power from the material ingredients. We must believe in the power of the Purusha, who impregnates Prakriti or nature. Because the Lord wished to lie down in meditation, the material energy created innumerable universes at once. In each of them the Lord lay down, and thus all the planets and different paraphernalia were created at once by the will of the Lord. The Lord has unlimited potencies, and thus he can act as he likes by perfect planning, although personally he has nothing to do. No one is greater than or equal to him. That is the verdict of the Vedas. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That's the end of the purport. Om Jnana Tirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumintamina Tasmai Shri Guru. I offer obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. He has opened my darkened eyes and filled my heart with transcendental knowledge. I further offer my obeisances to all of you assembled Vaishnavas and seek your kind blessings and permission that I may recite Srimad Bhagavatam today. So thank you once again for joining this morning. It is such a pleasure to be in Nakuru. This is my first time in a long time in Kenya. Last time I was in Kenya was 28 years ago. Now I'm back again to get the blessings of all the wonderful Vaishnavas. And it's just incredible, the program we had last night. So much energy, so much love for the Lord. And also this morning. And it seems Mother Nature is also celebrating so many flowers, such a good atmosphere. It's just quite astounding how much Krishna has blessed us and blessed the town of Nakuru with his presence in the form of the holy name reverberating every day. So I feel very, very fortunate to be in all of your presence. Today we are meditating on this particular verse, which is so beautiful, and he covers a lot in the purport, isn't it? So we'll try to make it a little bit more interactive. If you can close the door, Mataji, that'd be great. Yes. So, we have three Vishnus we're talking about, isn't it? The three Vishnus. Now, before I came to Krishna consciousness movement, I didn't know there's even more than one Vishnu. We just said there's a Vishnu, right? And from Vishnu we have these 10 incarnations, and that's basically it. But we learned so much more when we study the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the first Vishnu we're talking about, the Mahavishnu, he's also known as Karana-dakshai Vishnu. So, Karana means what? Cause. And Karana-dakshai, Shai means Shayan. Shayan means what? To lie down. He's lying down on the ocean. It's a causal ocean. That's why it's called causal ocean, because it's Karana-dakshai. He's lying down very relaxed way. And he is pretty much taking a nap, isn't it? He's kind of sleeping. It says, Yasyam basi shayanasya. Shayan means lying down. Yoga nidram vitanvata. Yoga nidra means sleeping in meditation. So that's Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is basically the embodiment of sattva. That's why in the previous verse it says sattva tanu nirnam siya. He is the embodiment of sattva gun. Sattva gun means mode of goodness. And mode of goodness is qualified by peace. So Lord Vishnu never freaks out, ever. He's always peaceful. That's why he's lying yoga nidra. You see, he's so relaxed it looks like he's sleeping, but he's meditative. You see? So that's why his eyes are like half closed, like this. Now the yoga nidra, this sort of chill kind of half closed mood, may look like someone who's maybe, a little too relaxed. Maybe he has taken some, something. It's all chilled out. No, that's not. That is mode of ignorance. In that sense, mode of ignorance looks very much like mode of goodness. Because both of them are not very active. But they're miles apart. Mode of goodness is relaxed, but fully cognizant and aware of what is happening. And fully alert. And when necessary, can go into action, just lift his finger, take sudarshan, chop off the head, and still be totally chill. That is mode of goodness. See? So we as devotees are encouraged to cultivate the mode of goodness, isn't it? Mode of goodness is, again, it is the mode of purity, mode of cleanliness, but it's also mode of alertness, focus, knowledge. All those come together in a package, mode of goodness. So the first Vishnu is Karana-dakshaya Vishnu. He's laying down. It's kind of cool, chill. Then in the purport, what does Prabhupada explain? That Karana-dakshaya Vishnu, does he lie on the Sheshanag? No, he does not. He does not. That is Sheshashaya Vishnu. Or that is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That's why if you see the paintings of Mahavishnu, he's kind of just lying by himself in space almost. Okay, but he's lying on the ocean of Karana. That ocean, by the way, was created by his own, everything comes from Vishnu anyway. So there's that Mahavishnu, and it's described that in one corner of the spiritual sky is one dark cloud, some dark cloud. That is the entirety of material existence. So we are actually literally in a cloud in the spiritual sky. Interesting. But it's much bigger. When you zoom into the cloud, you see the Mahavishnu lying down. Then, that Mahavishnu, you can imagine, when he breathes out, millions and trillions of universes come out. You've seen that picture? It's right on the cover. Right on the cover of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the spiritual world. And a little corner of it, like bubble or cloud, there's Mahavishnu there. You see, he's not lying on the snake, right? He's just kind of floating there on the Karana ocean. And from his pores and his outward breath, millions and trillions of universes come out. They look like little bubbles. It's like bubbles. So you can imagine like coconuts. These coconuts are floating on the Karana ocean. You can imagine, right? It's very organic. When Krishna creates, he doesn't sit and make everything square, and like how we make square buildings, he makes everything very organic, rounded, His manufacturing process is very, very, let's say, streamlined. So, he creates these bubbles, okay? But they're like madafus, they're like coconuts. Inside each coconut, you can see it's like a womb of a mother. So he enters that. The womb in Sanskrit is called Garbha. And therefore that Vishnu is known as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Clear? So if Karana-dakshaya Vishnu, then he enters that called Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Now inside coconut you have what? Some water. Sometimes you have coconut milk, they say coconut milk, isn't it? So there's an ocean of milk in the coconut. Coconut milk. But that's actual real milk, like cow's milk. Okay, it's not coconut milk. And so that is, then there's I might be mistaken. That's regular water, and then there's another ocean which is called the ocean of milk. And the Vishnu lies on that also. So now we're back on the coconut. You can imagine how dark it is inside the coconut. Can you imagine yourself inside the coconut, it's not been opened, how dark it might be? Layers and layers. So, this universe is like that. We are a little coconut floating, and there's a water, and Vishnu enters. Now here we have Sheshanag, who's lying on that water. Huh? And Lord Vishnu is there with Lakshmi Devi. So she's there massaging his feet. He's lying on this ocean, on Sheshanag. And what happens? He says, well, I need an engineer, someone who's going to manufacture, someone who's going to create this universe. So he decides to give birth to Lord Brahma. So he sees Lakshmi Devi is massaging his feet, so he didn't want to bother her. She's busy massaging feet. I'll give birth directly. Otherwise, usually, Matajis are involved in that process, isn't it? So he's very kind. And the navel, so this word today is, the word is Nabhi, isn't it? Nabhi hradambujadas asid. Nabhi means the navel. So all of us have navel, belly button. But his navel, because he's lying down, even that navel is filled with water. So it's like a lake. Hrada. Hrada means lake. So hradambuja. Ambuja means what? Have you heard of ambuja, this word? Lotus. Lotus. Ambu means water and ja means janma. So it is born. Something that's born from water is lotus. So the lotus has many names. One name is Ambuja. Another name is Pankaja. Panka means mud. Sometimes lotus are born from mud. Like that. So this is Nabhi Hrad Ambujadasi. So now you can see visually from the lake, the water of his navel, the stem sprouts up. And then the lotus opens up. And on top is sitting this amazing creature, the first created creature with 4 heads. Wow, what's going on? You know, he needs 4 heads because there's so much to process. Sometimes one chip is not enough. You need a quad-core processor. It's a quad-core processor is Brahma. Huh? So, very powerful to process all this information. Now, Brahma Vishwa Srijam Pati. Srijam means the creation, or the creators, the engineers, and he's the head of them. He's the Pati of. So he's also not alone. He has his own, team, right? So you have Mahavishnu, you have Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then the next one after that is every atom in the creation that's been created, and every living being in their heart. That same Vishnu enters. That's the third manifestation of Vishnu, who is known as Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. This is the same Vishnu who lies on the ocean of milk. Okay, so we have the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu in everybody's heart who connects with us. Okay. Now Prabhupada explains that nothing can take place without a cause, and so this Karana is there. But who is the original cause of all causes? Sri Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidanand Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He is the cause of even the Karana Vishnu. He is the cause of the causal Vishnu. His ultimate cause. See? So, Prabhupada kind of goes into a little bit on how the materialists, the atheists, they cannot explain what we see. They can just say that there is no God, but they cannot explain what we're seeing. They might be able to explain that when I hit, one piece of ball against the other, then it'll move this speed. That's physics. If I mix one chemical with the other, it'll turn this red color. That's chemistry. That's all they can explain, really speaking. And then if they look at the birds, oh yeah, the birds can fly. No, we can also see the birds can fly. There's nothing special about it. They put it in scientific terms. But they cannot explain it. Not only they cannot explain it, they're very quick to rush to an opinion that it cannot be explained. Or there is no reason, there is no cause behind this. And Prabhupada, he says this in Bhagavad Gita, the atheists think like this. He reminds us in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Krishna is very, very connected to us. This particular picture shows us his connectivity, isn't it? How, in an umbilical kind of way, the entire creation is connected directly to him, like an umbilical cord. He's nourishing it. Of course, he's delegating some of the responsibilities to other people like Brahma, and then he gets other demigods to deal with it. So where are we? We are situated in the cloud, in the spiritual sky, and then in that cloud we have Mahavishnu, who's breathing out these bubbles that are like Madafus. In that Madafu, we are one of those planets, but that planet, there are 14 planetary systems, and those systems are not even anywhere else. They're within the stem. You can imagine the long stem. We are just in that little stem, where Brahma is on top, Vishnu is below. And we are right in the middle of that stem. There's 14 levels, like some building have 14 floors. We're right in the middle, we're the 7th level, 7th floor. And the 7th platform, there are many planets, by the way, at the Bhu level. So we're in this planet of Bhu Mandala, or the layer, or the level. And within that level, you can have a floor in a hotel, 7th floor, and has many, many hotel rooms. But 7th floor has the same kind of class. It's like not economy either, but it's not first class either. It's like business class, you know. So we are in the business class. And then you go lower, there's also economy, and you go lower still, and you'll find people have to hold, you know, like in the bus, you hold the thing. So you can imagine if there's a plane where you have to hold, there's no place to sit. So it's kind of like that. It's pretty rough. But higher up, you get, you know, above, you get higher than business class, like first class, very nice treatment, nice seats, reclining, and they come and massage your shoulders, whatever. It's really nice. But everybody is stuck in that material stem of the material world to work out our issues. This whole creation is just meant to work out our issues. Only a few of us have issues. The vast majority of people do not have issues. But those people, you don't see them here, you see them in the spiritual world. Everybody you see here have issues. All of us have issues, most of us. Those of us who are materially conditioned like myself, we have issues. Some of you are not, you know who you are. But the vast majority of us are materially conditioned. We have issues. But Krishna is very, very kind. He is very involved in our lives. You can see how involved he is in the creation, isn't it? In one sense, he's aloof, because it kind of happens on its own, seemingly. But on the other hand, he's very involved. He's getting into every atom. That's the beauty of Krishna. He is fully aware and cognizant of everything, directly and indirectly. Do you know where that comes from, that line? He's aware of everything directly and indirectly. Which Bhagavatam verse is that? Very famous Bhagavatam verse. One of the earliest verses.
Om Namo Bhagavate.
Yes. Correct. The very first verse in the Bhagavatam. Anybody know, memorize that one? You know that one? Janmadyasya yato itaratas. Yes. Janmadyasya yato anvayadi taratas. Charthesha bhigya swarat. Tene brahma hridaya adi kavaye. Muhyanti yat suraya. Tejo vari mradam yatha vinimayo. Yatra trisargom risha. Dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. Satyam param dhimahi. Very nice. Very good. So, in that verse, he says that he's directly and indirectly cognizant. It's a very foundational verse. It's the opening verse of Bhagavatam. So, on one hand, he's so involved intimately. On the other hand, he gives us the freedom. And that is the delicate balance that Krishna maintains. He reminds Arjuna in the 15th chapter, Gama Vishecha Bhutani Dharayami Hamojasa. I make all these planets float. It is me who makes them float and move around in a cosmic way to keep everything working. Tushnami Chaushadhi Sarva Somo Bhutva Rasatmaka. And to nourish the plant materials, Chaushadhi, the vegetables that we eat. I provide the nourishment through the rays of the moon, Somo Bhutva Rasatmaka. Okay, that's number 12 or maybe 13. Chapter 15, verse number 13. So clear, he's showing his cosmic involvement in the nourishment of our vegetables. You see. Then the next verse after that, what he says? Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashita. I am the fire of digestion in your stomachs. Pranapana Samayuktam Pachamyannam Chaturvidam. I help you digest the 4 kinds of foods, and I'm also the incoming and outgoing breath. So do you see how intimately he's involved in just our breath, in just our digestion, at the molecular level? And in the 2 verses next to each other, you can see that right from the cosmic level down to the molecular level, to our breath, to what keeps us alive, he is the energy. He is personally involved. So you see how he's embracing us very intimately. It's a big hug and also a small hug. He's with us. And then the next verse is even more intimate. Try to see the progression of how Krishna builds this up. The next verse everyone probably knows. Number 15, you know that one? Sarvasya? Yes. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaishta sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavideva chaham. That I am in everybody's heart. That this is that, which Vishnu? Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. I am in everybody's heart. That's even more intimate. Not just the stomach, not just the lungs. I'm in the heart. Because the heart is where the soul is. The heart is where the subtle body is also. If I were to tell you to point to your intelligence, where do you point? Where is your intelligence? Yeah, that's not true. Intelligence is here. Most people will say like this. Most people, I think even the adults will say like that. I'm just speaking on you. You're not wrong. Everybody will say like this. It's true. We think over here, but we don't think over here. We think here, actually. The mind, intelligence, ego, it's all here in the heart. This is just the organ that keeps things, organized. But the actual action takes place here. So Krishna is here. And he's saying, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me, so this is the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu now. From me comes smriti, remembrance. Matta smritir jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. The ability to know something that comes from Krishna. The ability to remember something that comes from Krishna. What else do you say? Apohanam. Apohanam means what? Forgetfulness. What? Why is forgetfulness like an asset? That's like not a good thing to forget, right? To survive in this world, we need to forget certain things. We need to forget our traumas that we went through, otherwise we can't live. Isn't it? We don't want to relive some of the harsh things we went through in our lives. Krishna provides the ability to forget. He is so kind, he even gives us the ability to forget him. That's how much he loves us. That's how much freedom he gives us. That's how much facility he gives us to pretend that even he does not exist. How much kind is that? How much more kind can you get? Imagine you have a very good relationship with somebody and say, I don't want to see you, I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. Are you sure? Yeah, I don't. Please, are you sure? That's it. Okay, no problem. And that person then facilitates you to live comfortably, separately, or facilitates your forgetfulness. These wonderful arguments the atheists come up with why there is no God. Very nicely articulated with long words and sophisticated logic. Why there is no God? Krishna provides that intelligence. Can you imagine? The Lord provides that person the intellectual capacity to build this argument that the Lord does not exist. That is the sweetness of the Lord. So you can see the whole picture. We see from the highest creation, the spiritual world, we see Mahavishnu. In Mahavishnu, then he breathes out, you get these bubbles. In the bubble, you get Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. In that, there's a stem with Brahma sitting on top. In the stem, we have one of the planets. In that universe where those planets are there, there's a moon, and Krishna puts the rays of energy in the moon. That moon rays come into the vegetables, and you eat the sukumaviki that goes in your stomach. Your stomach gets digested. He's digesting it for us. Then we can breathe. He is the incoming breath. He's outgoing breath. Then we want to remember something. He remembers, helps us remember, helps us know, helps us forget. That is how connected Krishna is with us from a massive cosmic level, down to the molecular level, down to a subtle level, down to a soul level. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Blows your mind. If he does not blow your mind, he is not God. How much time do I have? It's time, huh?
No, 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So, now the question may arise, if he gives us freedom so much, what hope is there for us in our foolishness to reconnect with him? Part of the deal, we've made a deal, okay, with Krishna. Part of the deal that Krishna has made with us, he's not going to interfere with us. He says, no, I'm not going to interfere with the freedom. He makes a promise. It's a contract. It's part of the deal. He gives us freedom. We have inherently some little bit of freedom where we can turn away from him. But he still comes down again and again to remind us, hey, I'm still here. I'm available. He comes and does his lila. He plays his flute again and again. Every single day he comes down to play the flute. Then as Mahaprabhu, he comes to play the Madanga. Every day, isn't it? Every day of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma's day is very long, so it seems like for us not every day. But every day of Lord Brahma means every day for him. So he's coming every single day to remind us his sweetness, his beauty, his charm. Hey, you're missing out. Please come back. I'm welcome. I'm inviting you. But he'll not, prod us. He'll not push us. Now, There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita. You know Bhagavad Gita as it is? Why is it called as it is? Because the verse is there and purport will reinforce the verse. If Krishna says, surrender unto me, Prabhupada says, surrender to Krishna. In the purport, he explains. He will never say, Krishna says this, but don't do that. He doesn't go against Krishna's words. That's why it is as it is. However, there's one verse where he goes against Krishna's. Did you know that? Yeah. Let me tell you this. This is the one. There's one verse where Krishna says that don't disturb the mind of the atheists. Let them be. Prabhupada said, no, I will disturb. We devotees have not taken a vow to not interfere with other people. We are meant to interfere. Krishna said, don't disturb, because, don't disturb them. And Prabhupada said, devotees know the heart of Krishna. Krishna wants them back. So that is the one disobedience that devotees do. We disturb them. We'll make noise at 5 in the morning. Wake them up. We'll go on the streets. We'll wake them up from their slumber of ignorance. We'll give them Bhagavatam. We'll give them Bhagavad Gita. Hey, wake up! Krishna is like, don't do it. No. Let me do it. And Krishna is very pleased when we do that. He's very pleased. Then Prabhupada explains that the Lord, the devotee knows the heart of the Lord, and so he goes out of his way, even to the risk of kind of disobeying the Lord. Because we have not taken that promise to not interfere with other people's freedom. See, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and shows us how to do it. We should also do it in a nice way, not a harsh way. We do it beautifully. We go on the street, we chant Hare Krishna, we do Rath Yatras, we distribute books to everybody in the malls and the airports. It's a very nice way of sharing, We don't force them at gunpoint or the tip of the sword. We don't do that sort of thing. Some people do that. We don't do that. We disturb them in a nice way. We give them Krishna. We give them this. So the system that Krishna has set up, even that part is done in an organized way. The system of sharing Krishna consciousness. The system, you see how everything is connected? The stem is connected to Krishna's navel, and then we are connected to the universe, and then everything is this connectivity. Even the stream of knowledge that comes to us is connected to Krishna. And that stream of knowledge is an electrical cable that connects us with Krishna, and that is known as GPS. You've heard of GPS? Yes? GPS tells us where to go. Like, this is where you are, and this is where to go. That GPS stands for Guru Parampara system. Guru Parampara system is the GPS that connects us with Krishna. So Guru Parampara system tells us where we are and where we can go. And that is the authorized connectivity from Krishna. Sri Prabhupada has taught us that. Prabhupada's Guru Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is there. His Guru is there. Like that goes all the way unbroken to Krishna. So then when you plug into Srila Prabhupada, there is power. The light turns on. It's not, because the powerhouse is Krishna. Source of all knowledge is Krishna. He is that hydroelectric dam or whatever the powerhouse he is. And we have the unbroken disciplic succession. This connectivity, to maintain it, is very important. And that connectivity comes in the form of guru-disciple relationship. In any sphere, in any field of knowledge, there's a system of transmission of knowledge. If you want to be a doctor, where is Dr. Dennis? Mugo is here? There he is. Ask him how many years it takes to study. But even after finishing and studying the books and passing the exam with 100%, unless he does residency. Residency is a place, is the time period where you finished your education, but you still have to spend 3.5 years at least learning under a doctor, another doctor, a few other doctors. You learn hands-on, they train you, you're an apprentice. So without that period of learning under an actual master, you cannot be a doctor. They'll not let you even prescribe a medication. So similarly, any field of knowledge, you need a master. So the system is there, Guru Parampara system is there. So in the Guru Parampara system, the most essential element is the transmission of knowledge. Knowledge is called Shiksha. And therefore, the importance of Shiksha Guru is paramount. Shiksha Guru is the person who has learnt from his or her master. And he or she can impart to us the same transmission of knowledge, shiksha. There's varieties of gurus. There's a shiksha guru. There's a vartma pradakshaka guru, one who shows us the path. You start over here. There's a diksha guru. So it is said in the Shastra, the shiksha guru and diksha guru are equally powerful and equal representatives of Shri Guru, Shri Krishna. This is the message of Krishna, the original Guru, Adi Guru. So it is of paramount importance that we make a connection in a shiksha context to somebody that we can trust, someone who is senior, someone who can guide us, someone who can be there with us on a fairly regular basis, someone who's accessible, someone who kind of keeps tabs on us too, so we don't veer away. That's why in ISKCON we have a structure. That's why we look out for each other. You see, so there's a Shiksha Guru. And then eventually, typically what happens is the person who is Shiksha Guru. Prabhupada said, and actually typically what happens, person who is Shiksha Guru becomes Diksha Guru. But that not always happen, doesn't have to be that way, but generally speaking. So the most important thing is, anybody who comes new in Krishna consciousness, they are guided to take Shiksha from Srila Prabhupada, who is the preeminent Shiksha Guru for everybody in ISKCON. So number one Shiksha Guru for everybody in ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada. So we have to first, all of us study very, very deeply and not make excuses about studying this. Don't make excuses, I don't need to study. We should not be lazy in the matter of studying. And when we are studying, we'll need guidance. These books are sometimes difficult to follow, so we need to have someone who can access fairly regularly. You can contact them, and they can give you guidance. Right? Siddhanta bolye chitte na karo alash. Mahaprabhu said. Mahaprabhu, this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, when understanding Siddhanta, don't do alash. You know what is alash? Yes, you know. Lazy. Don't be lazy. If you're lazy, you'll become crazy. So don't be lazy. He says, when you study deeply, then yahavite Krishna lage shuddrida manash. Then what happens? Your mind gets very connected with Krishna in a strong way, shuddrida, indestructible way. Nobody can shake that faith. And when the connection is that tight, you feel even more ecstasy. Much more ecstasy. Even the dancing, in the singing, in the japa, you'll feel much more ecstasy after having studied. I guarantee it. Do you know why? Because when you study, the intelligence gets engaged. It's called buddhi yoga. And the intelligence is the next door neighbor of the soul. So soul is here, Krishna is here, and intelligence is right next to the soul. When the intelligence completely understands, wow, it clicks. Have you felt the experience? Oh wow, clicks. And you just can't stop smiling. Amazing, Krishna is so awesome. It refreshes you because the soul dances when the intelligence gets engaged in Krishna. So don't be lazy about studying. Read these verses, memorize them as much as you can. Try to explain them to others. When they ask questions and you don't know the answer, you learn from your Shiksha Guru or other mentors. You can have many, many, many Shiksha Gurus, by the way. You don't have to be stuck with one. There's no problem. And that is of importance. So if we feel that I'm not connected, we're not connected to the GPS, to the power source, our primary priority should be, let me find Shiksha Gurus. Then gradually the whole Diksha Guru can also come later. But the main thing is, the Shiksha is the main connection with Krishna. Right? So now we learned about the whole universal, cosmic, macroscopic, the whole Guruship lineage, and you see how Krishna is taking care of us. While still delicately maintaining the balance of keeping our freedom, giving us our freedom. Our freedom is the one thing that we have. In fact, that's the only thing we own. We don't own anything else. Our decision to do this or that's the only thing we can own, we can call our own. Everything else belongs to Krishna. This universe is perfect. You saw the description when the bubbles come out. Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamadachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. What does that mean?
A complete whole.
Yes, there's a complete whole, and then many complete wholes emanate from that, but they're perfect and complete. So this universe is perfect and complete. Like, wait a minute. Okay, complete I can understand. What is perfect? It's not perfect. I mean, if I look at the teeth in the mirror, my teeth are like crooked. That's not perfect at all. What's perfect about that? I have diseases. What's perfect about that? I have some issues with my friends and family. What's perfect? It's actually a very imperfect world. I go out, I get diseases. How can you call this perfect?
Perfect imperfection.
Huh?
It's a perfect imperfection.
No, it's not a perfect imperfection. It is perfect for what it is designed to do. If I try to cut a tree with a hammer, I say, what a useless hammer, what a useless this. This is not a useless hammer. It's not designed to cut a tree. If you try really hard, maybe you can cut it. But you have to use a proper instrument. When we see supposed imperfections in this world, Prabhupada explains, it's only because of our imperfect vision. You know, sometimes you have software and then you buy a software and then you have to click and you have on the buttons, right? And sometimes the button is grayed out. Hey, this is not working. Have you had the experience the button is grayed out on the website or something? It's not working. It's imperfect. No. It is meant to be grayed out because that particular feature is supposed to be blocked right now. It is not a bug. It is a feature. So when we have some issues in our life, when we have some pain, some imperfections, and we want to blame God, it is not a bug. It is a feature. It is a feature of the software. The software is perfect. It is working as designed. This universe is working as designed. It's designed to give us justice. It's designed to set us on the path. It's designed to give us just the right amount of pain to correct us and to educate us. So it is actually perfect. Even though you have to wear a bracelet, it doesn't matter. It's actually perfect. Everything is perfect. Because it's working as designed. Ultimately, the whole thing is to help us gradually move upwards to Krishna. And when we read Bhagavatam, we see this beautiful description of how the creation takes place. The whole aim is to increase our loving sentiment to Krishna and inspire us to serve Krishna with love. And that's what it's all about. And to really accelerate that process and to make it possible, actually, the key is chanting Hare Krishna. So let's chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. So thank you all very much for this opportunity. And it's not very much time, but I really appreciate it. This chance to spend time with all of you. I can see there's so much brilliance. Yes, we have time for questions. There's so much brilliance in your faces right now. And it's inspiring me to be also more serious about Krishna consciousness. So yes, questions please.
I was asking, you talked about freedom, yeah?
Yeah.
Freedom should be independent, should not be interfered. You find Krishna giving us options. If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this consequence. If you do this, this consequence. He gives us, let's say, more options. But what is the meaning of freedom? If you do this, this will happen. If you do this, it's like it's setting us up. It's like manipulation. So,
Yes, so good question.
why should we think that you are free and you are being given options and consequences?
Good question. That's a good question. Very good question. So is it really freedom if you only have a couple of choices?
Yeah.
You see? It's a good question. If I tell you, hey, okay, I'm giving you freedom, eh? If you turn away from me, you'll fall in this ditch and you'll die. So, or you hang out with me and you keep washing my feet every day, 3 times a day. And you have 2 choices only 2 choices. You wash my feet 3 times a day, or you fall in the ditch and there's spikes and you die. That's what it sounds like, isn't it? In actuality, the reality is a lot better. It's a lot more fair. The buffet of choices is much broader. It's not just ugali and rotten ugali. Those are not the only 2 choices.
Yeah.
Imagine you have a buffet with ugali and the rotten ugali. It's not like that. You have everything under the world. So this material world, there are so many choices available. Even just this planet alone, even just Nakuru alone, there's so many choices available. You can be here, you can be over there, you can be stuck in traffic with the matatus. There's so many choices available to us, just within Nakuru itself. What to speak of within Kenya? So many climates are available. What to speak of all of Africa? What to speak of the whole world? And then what to speak of the creation where you live for millions and billions of years enjoying unheard of enjoyment. And You have a choice to stay here forever and ever. And some of those planets, I'm telling you, they're so nice. You will never want to leave. He offers everything. You can stay here forever, seriously. And that's fine. So it's not like he hasn't given us choices. He has many, many choices. Every possible flavor of enjoyment, every possible flavor of spiciness or blandness is available to us. So it's not limited at all. And complete freedom to turn away from it. The thing is that our fundamental source of discontent is not the lack of choices. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Our fundamental root of discontent is love. Love is all you need. All you need is love. And we cannot experience true love unless the eyes are clean and we can see for what is what. We cannot experience true love unless we connect with the source of love. Krishna's love for us is completely pure. It is completely free from ulterior motives. And we are seeking that love. And so we'll try to find it elsewhere, whether we look for many choices, oh, there's too many choices in this buffet, I just need one thing. Or whatever it is, we try to find some issue in the way Krishna has given us these options. But Krishna's options are infinite. So he's infinitely kind, so his options reflect that. His love for us is very much. But the only problem with us is that, I think I explained yesterday, we have a hole in the heart that's shaped like Lord Jagannath. And so, or like Krishna. That hole in the heart, we cannot fill it with anything else. We'll try to put money in it, put power in it, put sense gratification in it, put some, so many different things we try to think will make us satisfied. But because it's a round hole in the square peg, it'll never fit. So this shape is Krishna's shape. And the moment we put Krishna in there, then immediately you feel satisfied. So that is what we're seeking. It is not even the freedom. Honestly, we don't even want freedom. Deep in our hearts, we don't want so-called freedom. We want, in fact, this Bhakti Tirtha Swami writes a nice poem. He says, my Lord, to hell with my freedom. Please take away my freedom. I want to be with you. I've had enough of turning away from you. It's a poetic thing. So that is the thing, is that we are missing Krishna. Krishna is missing us. Isn't it? That's what makes us very dissatisfied when we're separate from him. In the material world, in the material platform, there is satiation, but there is no satisfaction. Suppose you're hungry and you eat a whole plate of cardboard soaked in water. This whole plate, completely. You can eat it, it's doable. Cardboard, you just chew it down, you soak it. You fill a stomach is filled up completely. And you feel satiated, means it's full. But there's no satisfaction. Why? Because there's no nutrition, there's no nourishment in the cardboard. You can say there's fiber, that's it, only fiber. There is satiation, but there's no satisfaction. In the spiritual realm, there is satisfaction, but there's no satiation. The stomach never fills up. You can keep on drinking the nectar of the holy name. And from day one, you will feel a sense of satisfaction. I know now I belong here. So there's an undercurrent of satisfaction, and you'll never be satiated. And that's what we want. Can you imagine? We want the ability to eat infinite amounts. Stomach never gets filled, but you're feeling satisfied all the time, more and more. That is Krishna consciousness. It's satisfaction, no satiation. Material consciousness, satiation, no satisfaction. So we just make the shift, and you'll start feeling happiness from day one. And then you feel more and more and more happiness. That is the process Prabhupada has given us. That is the choice Krishna has given us. So let us make the best choice every day and turn to Krishna in our hearts. Thank you. Great question. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I think, I don't know if you have time. I think we're way past time. The time. So we'll end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.